essa calça.
교회 와야지 하나.
Acompanhando a sua visita.
As a father, I think one of the most important responsibilities that I have is to teach my teenage children to recognize truths and doctrine that can be found in the scriptures that connect to them personally in their lives and in their circumstances. And that's been a really important learning lesson for me, to be aware of the Spirit and to connect to them, to be aware of their needs, but more importantly, help them to discover a love of the scriptures and understand that the doctrine can relate to their lives.
Eu sou uma professora do seminário do Brasil. Quando eu comecei a ensinar o seminário, eu queria muito ser uma boa professora. Eu queria muito que os meus alunos aprendessem tudo que eu estava ensinando. Então eu pensava em diferentes maneiras de ensinar, leitura, ou alguns vídeos, fazia jogos. E uma vez um aluno fez a oração de abertura e ele pediu para que ele pudesse sentir o Espírito durante a aula. E eu sei o quanto isso é tão óbvio, né? Nós ouvimos isso toda hora, mas naquele momento, aquela oração mudou meu coração. E eu pensei, é isso que meus alunos precisam. Eles estão aqui para sentir o Espírito.
I'm a primary teacher. I've got a large class. We have some with some special needs, and luckily we had some great training from our primary president. And it's taught us that how not every child learns the same way, and that some people are very tactical and need to hold something or do something. Some people really need to learn visually and things like that. And so we, as the three brethren in the class, really tried to pray about it and then think about how we could get from where our children were just either climbing over each other or out the window to something where they could really learn about the Savior and learn about things that would help them to be involved and engaged in the classroom. And we have just had a great experience with these children to be able to really have some engaging lessons.
Eu sou do Brasil e eu sou professor do Instituto. Um dia, numa aula do Instituto, durante a pandemia, nós tivemos que fazer as aulas online. E eu chamei todo mundo, mas ainda assim, só apareceu um aluno. E ele tinha muitas perguntas, porque ele era um membro novo. E nesse dia, ouvindo os sussurros do Espírito, eu pude ajudar e resolver muitas perguntas dele. Estou muito feliz porque hoje ele pode estar se preparando para servir uma missão.
I was recently given the assignment to speak about a very dark period in my life, which was a period of grief. And how I approached this assignment to speak was to focus on the Savior's example. I reflected back on the many periods of sorrow that the Savior went through and how he dealt with them. I realized that through focusing on him and how he dealt with his personal circumstances, everything that I went through was really for my betterment. And I realized that it was all a part of a loving Father in heaven who loves us and does so perfectly, regardless of what it is that we go through.
In my teaching, I ended up asking for more examples. I saw connections when we would talk about a doctrine, and then I would ask young women to see connections. And one example was a young woman who I just asked, for example, where do you see the Savior in the sacrament? And we just talked about the sacrament. And she just, light bulbs went off when she talked about, when we look at the sacrament table, we're looking at his body. And she just had this moment where, even though she was 17 years old, she had never connected the Savior there. And just because of that, for me, personally preparing that way, I began to see him more, and it just naturally flowed out of me.
Back when I was in a mission, I learned how to always be ready to listen to the spiritual promptings of the Spirit. As I strive to listen to the voice of the Spirit, it helps me understand my investigators and help to teach them according to the Spirit.
Como hermana ministrante, al orar por nombre por cada una de las hermanas a las que debo ministrar, puedo sentir un mayor amor hacia ellas y también puedo sentir el amor que el Salvador tiene.
Siempre tratamos de enfocarnos en Jesucristo y he notado que cuando nos esforzamos por enfocar la clase en Jesucristo, en sus símbolos, en las sombras que vemos en las escrituras que representan a Él, provoca que los alumnos intencionalmente identifiquen a Jesucristo en las escrituras y cómo eso les impacta en sus vidas.
We have 2 older daughters that participate a lot in our study of Come Follow Me, but our 3rd daughter was kind of shy and wasn't sharing much. I saw during the week that she was making drawings of what we were discussing, and I thought it would be a wonderful way to help her feel like she could contribute. So I invited her to share with us those drawings, and every week she'd have new drawings of all the things we were discussing, and then she started sharing her testimony together with those drawings and writing them down. And it was a wonderful way to help her feel like she was valued and she can contribute in the things we were discussing, and definitely helped us all to develop our testimonies.
El Salvador nos enseñó a amar a todos nuestros estudiantes, a todos nuestros alumnos. Entonces, me gusta mucho interesarme por sus especialidades, por sus actividades fuera de la iglesia. Me gusta mucho también interesarme cuándo son sus fechas de cumpleaños, aprenderme bien sus nombres para poder dirigirme a ellos como las personas especiales que son, como hijos especiales de nuestro Padre Celestial. Me preocupo por ellos. Si uno de ellos no asiste a la clase, yo le localizo personalmente y siempre estoy al pendiente de cada uno de ellos.
As a bishop, I work a lot with youth, and I believe the best way to help them is by focusing on Jesus Christ. And I do that by using the personal development program that is designed for the youth. I have one young man who was not attending seminary, and I thought that helping him to understand the need to become like Jesus would definitely help him. So we organized an activity on the personal development, and after that activity, he comes to attend seminary regularly. So I understand that if we want youth to go spiritually and temporally, we can help them to focus on becoming like Jesus.
Hola, yo soy un maestro de la primaria, enseño a niños, soy de Guatemala. Todos son distintos y algunos de ellos algunas veces están muy hiperactivos y puedo sentir cómo el Jesucristo desea enseñarles a cada uno de manera especial para ellos. Y yo recuerdo un momento en el cual uno de los niños estaba muy inquieto, realmente era un niño con mucha energía, y poder invitarlo a él a ser mi asistente dentro de la clase. Entonces, esa energía la aproveché para poder enseñarle a los demás niños. Y de esa manera yo sé que Jesucristo con cada uno de nosotros, Él nos enseña de maneras específicas para que nosotros podamos aprender. Yo testifico que Jesucristo y nuestro Padre Celestial nos ama a cada uno de nosotros y lo podemos sentir cuando compartimos su evangelio.